This is the place to be for education about asexuality, so please subscribe and hit the bell icon right now. First of all, make sure you can hear me. So I'm going to make sure my volume is turned up on my phone. There we go. Hear it? Probably hear it. I don't know. But there we go. I'm going to make sure all notifications are turned off. Right. Let's get cracking. So if you didn't already know, I've just survived a gas leak in my flat. It's been an absolute nightmare. So I'm still in shock, to be quite honest. Obviously, gas leaks can kill a person. I feel very fortunate to still be alive, to be honest with you, especially as the gas man deemed the situation immediately dangerous on my report from him. So you might have noticed that on my YouTube channel, this channel, I wrote a message to say that I was being really stressed. Well, I'd had a stressful day and that I needed, this was yesterday, and I needed to relax, rest, recuperate, chill out, basically. You can see what words I actually wrote on the community post. And I was prepared to eat nice foods, and I got a Christmas movie lined up to watch. And so I was in my bedroom at the time, and I have fire doors in this place. And after a while of having the central heating on, I went outside my room, and there was such a strong smell of gas in the hallway and the kitchen, or so I thought. So I'm going to show you some personal insights on this channel about my thought processes and what led up to this leak and circumstances surrounding it, so that maybe it can help you understand parts of your own life. I have to say that I am really tired and exhausted at the moment, so I'm not in the best state, and I didn't know that I was going to do this video. I thought I was just going to be trying to sleep tonight because I've barely had any sleep. So first of all, I think oh, hello. So first of all, hi everyone in chat, lots of love to you. So first of all, I thought that that I would just like relax, you know, I'll be able to relax finally. So if you didn't already know, I moved into my new flat last month. And it's been really difficult, because ever since I've moved in here, I've had problems. So for the first night I moved in, there was a leak in the bathroom, and they were having a new liner fitted the next day. So that all had to be like cleaned up. We had to get someone out late at night to clean all that up, and that was like the first thing, right? And since then, there's been multiple issues in this new flat. I'm thankful that I moved, because I was potentially going to be made homeless, because the previous landlord that I've left now, he was selling the flat. So I had no choice but to move out, right? And it's very difficult to find accommodation in my city of Exeter in the UK, because most of it is literally student accommodation. Anyway, to cut a long story very short, I've moved in. I moved in on the 5th of November, but since then there's been things that, to put it politely, has been challenge after challenge after challenge. To put it in normal language that most people would usually use, there's been problem after problem after problem. But I always think it's not healthy to keep saying the word problem, because it just means that it's harder to overcome difficult things, right? It's, if you put the word problem, it feels like a barrier, whereas if you say a challenge, it's more like something that you can overcome, even by using that type of language. So first of all, I want to share with you that what language you use with yourself is really important in difficult times. So if you're new to my channel, I'm asexual and sexual orientation, but I cover on this channel dating, relationships, self-confidence, self-love and self-care as my 5 main topics. And I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in your own life journey. Although this channel is predominantly for asexuals, any sexual orientation can follow and subscribe and talk and chat in the content. Oh, hello, Martin from Plymouth. Nice to see you. So yes, so it says, mysterious mass, you came to deliver a speech or listen others to. Yeah, I think it's very important to share personal insights. Hi from London. Can you give like 2 punches like boxing? Right. We must stay on track, people. We must stay on track. Right. Nice to see everyone. Thanks, especially to the people also in the UK who are here with me. So I'm trying to remember what I'm saying because I'm not in the best state of mind. As you can imagine, I've been in a gas leak situation. So my mind is not the most my processes of my mind is not the most comprehensive at the moment because obviously I've barely had any sleep, right? And so anyway, I'm talking to you about what led up to this problem, right? So I've had constant difficulties, challenges, we'll put it politely, challenges, and it's more positive language to use since I've been in this flat. Constantly, nearly every single day, there's either been a challenge that I'm currently working on or a new challenge. When I mean challenges, other people would say problems. Anyway, so there's been multiple, I'm going to use the word problems with the boiler, right, in this context. And so if you follow my channel, watch my shorts, my vlogs, then you will know that there's been problems with this boiler. I have not had hot water in my flat since before I moved in, but obviously noticeable since I moved in, the 5th of November. Yeah, I've been here over a month. So basically it was a month and 11 days till they finally got the hot water sorted out because my letting agency hire a contract team. They hire a company that specializes in electricals, and there's a manager and a team, and there's a guy who comes to do all the repairs and replacements and stuff like that. So anyway, the guy who comes to do the repair replacements, he has come multiple times to fix this boiler, right? I want a new boiler, but the landlord obviously is reluctant to do that because it costs a lot of money. And part of the reason for that is because my flat's in the top floor and the flute to the gas supply is in the roof, so they have to get scaffolding, which costs quite a lot of money. But we're talking about here we're talking about, you know, like thousands of pounds for scaffolding. But at the end of the day, it's a life we're talking about, right? My life, okay? So I'm happy. I'm happy I'm alive still, because that situation could have ended like really badly. You know, it could have ended really badly for me. I might not be here now. I might not be even able to talk to you. And I've had quite a few difficult things happen in this year. 2024 has been so challenging for me. And so anyway, the boiler's had 3 different parts replaced on it. And one of the parts actually ended up being put back because they tried 2 other circuit boards and it cut out completely and didn't even have heat or hot water. And then they replaced the hydraulic board and they replaced the secondary plate. So on Sunday, when I last live streamed, I believe it's Sunday, right? I live streamed for over an hour on this channel and I was coughing at the end of it. So I had to stop live streaming, right? Because I was coughing, but I nearly finished what I was going to say anyway. I played out with some Christmas music. But what you didn't see behind the scenes of that video afterwards is I was throwing up in the bathroom, like being sick, but it wasn't like throwing up food. It was like throwing up spit. But I'm never sick after a YouTube live stream. I don't think it's ever happened in the whole history when I've got no apparent illness. I don't think it's ever happened in the whole history of me doing this channel. And I've been live streaming since 2015. So I was really worried about my health. So I haven't been live streaming for a couple of days because I put it down to exhaustion. Because I've been so exhausted because I've been getting less than 5 hours sleep every night, most nights. Because I have to keep getting up early all the time for people to come and fix different things in my home. Then I'm out shopping, trying to get food. Then I'm out trying to do something else. I've got 3 pieces of furniture that I've got issues with at the moment. And so it's really a lot to deal with. And so, it's like just stuff on top of each other. So it's been really, really difficult for me. And I think on social media, a lot of people only show you the good side. I like to show you the raw, real side of real life because it's relatable, isn't it? And life isn't perfect. It doesn't always go according to plan. It's very, very difficult, you know, and things throw you a curveball in life. Oh, you like my Christmas tree? Yeah. Well, I usually decorate my Christmas trees a lot better than this. So because I'm so exhausted, because I don't have any time to do much, I haven't even put all my Christmas decorations up like I usually would this year. So I'm glad you like my tree. Like, this isn't as tinseled up as I would usually have it, right? This is like not as, like, I would usually put a lot more tinsel on it than that. But I've been so like having to do other stuff that it's cute, and I hope you feel better soon. Thank you, Crystal. Lots of love. So someone's asking me about some situation to do with Manchester. I don't watch the news, so if it's something on the news, I don't know about it because I don't watch the news, which is an important part of what I need to say in this live stream. So life has been really, really busy, but it's busy and extreme. Like, I know that I am having to run on empty a lot of times. So if you don't know what run on empty means, it means that I'm functioning at a less optimal level than I would usually function because I'm having to do stuff constantly, like every single day. It's a lot more physical activity. It's constant, like one thing and another thing and another thing, not having much sleep. And if you didn't know, I broke 2 bones in my spine this year, right? At a business event, actually. It wasn't my fault. And it was the 29th of April. So I've been recovering from that. I've done 8 months of hard physio. And last week, which is a good thing, I'll tell you a bit of good news. I actually got told that I don't need to see her anymore, but I can still go back to her next year if I've got problems. But the thing is, if I do not keep up my physio exercises, my back actually starts hurting again. But if I don't have rest days, then my back starts hurting. So it's like I can't really win. I've got to keep constantly exercising. But some days I can't because I've got other stuff to do. But because I've got a lot of stuff at the moment to do, a lot of it is physically demanding anyway. I am still lifting stuff. I am still bending down. I'm twisting and squatting and doing those things, which my physio says classed as exercise anyway. So obviously 8 months of hard, painful exercises has led to me being strong physically now, more stronger than I was even before I broke my back. And I have a condition, a disability, which is unseen, called fibromyalgia. I wrote a book about this in case you didn't already know. This is like my autobiographical superhero style book, Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook. So that's my superhero outfit on the back there, right? It's an autobiographical personal account on Amazon. You can get this, right? And so that's a chronic pain condition that affects the nerves and muscles of the body. So I had my back injury on top of that. And before then, I was quite weak in my back, and washing up hurts me. And I've got a mini dishwasher now. I've got a Hoover since I've moved in, a robotic Hoover to help me with that. But I used to get a lot of help from my best friend. My best friend helped me move. He was amazing. He helped me days in a row for hours, and then he got exhausted, so he had to take time out. He's got other people he needs to look after and see as well. So I've been having to in the last few weeks, I've been having to help myself a lot more and do a lot more shopping and stuff, because he used to help me with my disability before I had my back injury as well. In terms of shopping and stuff like that. But neither of us drive. So I'm having to do everything for myself, which is normal for a person who doesn't have any disabilities, right? You have to do everything for yourself usually, unless you've got a partner to do things with you, right? So I don't have that. And my mum and dad can't help me because my dad's on permanent oxygen now. He was rushed into hospital at the beginning of this year, and he's got COPD, so he's got a problem with his lungs, so he has to have permanent oxygen. He can't be out of the home very much, and my mum doesn't drive or anything like that. So I'm proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself for doing 8 months of physio and really getting me up to being so much stronger than I was even before I broke my back. That is really hardcore for someone who's got a pain condition anyway, permanently, since 2012, disability, fibromyalgia, and also for someone who's broken 2 bones in their spine. You know, I've been lifting heavy stuff. I've been doing a lot of shopping. Like I dragged a shopping trolley with 20 soy milks in it, and my physio's like, oh my god, most people would hurt doing that up a hill. I might have a really steep hill. So, and it had some nuts and other stuff in the shopping trolley. So anyway, I wanted to give you backstory of like the fact that I've had loads to do. I mean, I've got problems with a shoe cabinet. I've had problems with a faulty chest of drawers and sliding doors, and I've had to deal with different companies, emails backwards and forwards emails to my letting agency with things that need repairing or replacing in here. And so it's just been an excruciatingly difficult time for me in terms of there isn't much time I've got to fit everything in. I've wrapped one present up, which I've given to my mum already to put under the tree because it was a really heavy one. So when my parents brought my Christmas decorations down around, which was at their place, I gave my mum that because it's very heavy and it's breakable. I didn't want to take that down the stairs. I've got 37 steps I have to go up and down just to get to my flat every single time. And I have to drag a shopping trolley up the 37 steps as well because there's no lift here. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of muscle building. I do weights again now these days over the last months as well. So I have weights at home and I do them. So it's hardcore. You know, I'm always physically having to do exercise as much as possible. So I'm not really getting much rest. And when you don't get much rest, you know, your body does need time to repair itself. So anyway, this guy that has been coming out, the engineer, like from the electrical shop, he's the contractor that my letting agency go through to get the boilers fixed, basically. He's been multiple times, and every time there's never been boiling hot water since I've been here. That's like a month and 11 days till he got it fixed on this Monday. So we're now on Wednesday. So Monday, he was here in the very early hours because I had a health appointment to go to. I see a therapist now, my own choice for my mental health, right? Because I believe that if you are doing physical exercise to help your body, then you need to be doing mental exercise, if you like, for your mental health. Like, and if you've got any past traumas and difficulties and feelings, rather than suppressing and pressing them, which is really unhealthy, it's better to actually talk them through with a therapist. So I purposely, I've been on a waiting list for over 5 months to a place I used to go to years ago that's really kind and caring, fosters a very loving atmosphere. I think it's very important because I tried 2 different therapists last year and I wasn't happy because I've done a lot of work on myself. So I know a lot of stuff and I know what they were teaching and trying to say to me and get me to believe is wrong. So I've got enough personal development, which I've been doing since 2012, over 12 years now. I've got enough personal development and professional development, obviously, to know what people saying, whether it's going to be healthy for me or not. Some stuff I don't know, so I'm new to, so I have to determine that. But I have some key markers and key indicators, right? And one of these therapists was saying, oh, if you just believed that person loved you, then that would make everything all right. And I'm like, well, no, it doesn't. If someone's being abusive towards you, it doesn't matter how much they say they love you. That's not love. That's toxic love. And this is how people stay in toxic relationships. I actually wrote a letter, an email to them saying this, that what you're teaching people is wrong. This is like me talking to an NHS senior therapist. I have done a basic counselling skills course and I have got life coaching skills as well, certifications, and I've got an information advice and guidance diploma, just so you know some background. It's not like I just pluck things out of thin air. But I have a lot of knowledge as well that I've gained over years from courses I've done. And I haven't studied psychology, but I do know some of psychology because of the things I have studied that's not specifically psychology subject, but it's centered around that. My name Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club now as well. He's the world's #1 dating and confidence coach. So I learn from the best now as well, extra stuff. And so my point is, you know, I have enough intelligence to know when something's good and not so good for me to a certain extent, but we only have our knowledge and wisdom due to what we've learned, and our experiences shape us. So in terms of the gas leak, what went on with this, right, which is what you all want to know, right? So Monday, after the electrician guy had fixed the boiler for the, like, this is like about the fourth time I think he'd been to try and fix it. He put this plate in, which is supposed to take the water out and through it and make it hotter, which it did work because the other one was broken. So after he'd gone, I thought I could smell a bit of gas, but he told me that there was a gas lever in there. And I just assumed, because he'd been doing work in there, that maybe there was a little bit of a smell of gas, because maybe he had to fiddle around with that to get the part in, because he had to put a replacement part in. So I just thought it smells like a bit of gas. I'm not sure, but maybe I think it is. And I just need to kind of like wait, because like I think it's just from him fixing the boiler and it'll be fine. And he said everything was fine when he left. And then Monday, I felt like I smelt it a few more times later on. And I thought, this is weird. But when I'm talking about personal insights now, I want you to understand that our experiences shape the way our mind thinks, right? So instead of me quickly thinking, all right, I need to act on this now, I've been taught through my experience of being in letting agencies and renting, for example, for years, that when you contact a letting agency for anything you think's like going on with your flat, a lot of the time they will say, oh, I want you to wait and monitor the situation. I want you to be sure there's a problem with it before we pay someone to come out, you know, because it is expensive. And this is the type of kind of mentality of previous estate agents, particularly, that I've had to deal with. And also, when I first came to this flat, I was dealing with a workman. And if you remember in the beginning of this video, when I live streaming still, I told you that I had a leak in this flat the night, I should say, that I moved in. Well, I moved in the day, the 5th of November, but this was at night time. There was a leak in the bathroom. And it was because prior to me even moving in, there was work that needed to be done in this flat, and the taps needed replacing. And so this guy who replaced the taps, he actually knocked part of the system off, and he caused a flood in the bathroom. But also he said there's washers that were about to go under the bath. They were wearing through. So it would have leaked anyway. And the liner was being fit the next day. Now, this same guy who's a workman, on behalf of the company, I told him the boiler problem. And he said to me, that to monitor the situation. He was the one who told me to monitor the situation about the hot water. So I've been monitoring it for a few weeks, but it's only like last 2.5 weeks, I think. They've been coming backwards and forwards to try and sort the stuff out. But there's been issues with keys, you know. There's been a lot of stress because they said, can we come in if you're not there with keys? And I said, yeah, but so long as I know a time roughly you're going to be turning up, because you could, you know, end up coming when I'm asleep or in the shower, which wouldn't be appropriate. And there was a little bit of miscommunication with that and difficulties when I first started dealing with them. Anyway, this weekend, when I was I saw my best friend on Saturday, but I couldn't pick him up from the train station because found out they don't even have keys to this flat that work anymore. That they don't have keys. So I was feeling a few weeks ago like they thought I was being awkward about coming into my flat with their keys, but there was no keys that they've got to this flat, because apparently the previous tenant, one of the keys broke off in the lock. She got it changed, and they don't have a key. There's 2 locks to my front door, and I got told that one of the keys works, but the other doesn't. But actually, none of them work. So he couldn't get into my flat on the Friday last week. So he had to come on Saturday, and I had to wait in because I can't leave because I have to lock up. So that's been extra stress. So I haven't been able to go out as much because I can't walk out of my home because I need to be there. And the other day he was here for over 4 hours trying to fix the boiler that had problems. So anyway, this flash forward back to this Monday, because I've been told to monitor the situation. Now, I wasn't like thinking, oh, right, I need to phone I need to phone them up about the gas situation straight away. But yesterday on Tuesday night, what happened is when I came back from shopping, I could smell some gas, I thought, and I'm questioning myself, like, is it gas? Is it just some weird thing that I've got ate food and it's got some weird, like, stuck on somewhere, or is it something else? Because I've been doing painting, but I hadn't done it that day. I'd done it a couple of days before, and all my head was thinking, is it this? Is it that? Am I really smelling gas? And I'm questioning myself the whole time. And obviously you have to then dive deep into your mind of, like, why are you questioning yourself? Like, why are you questioning yourself over gas? What's the problem? And it's because I didn't want to be a bird, and I didn't want to, like, get someone out if there wasn't really a problem, if it was just my imagination. And obviously gas is a serious thing. So when I came back and smelled it from shopping, I thought, I'm sure there's a problem, but I'm like, you know, like, do I wait till I see my friend next and ask them their opinion? Because maybe I'm wrong. And anyway, when I was watching the movie last night, trying to relax, when I put the post on this channel, and I said that I'm going off to, I won't be streaming because I need to de-stress. I've had a very stressful day and I want to chill out, relax and recuperate. That's when I put the central heating on, gas central heating. I opened the door because it was fire doors. So partway through the movie, I opened the door to go to the toilet and I think in the kitchen, I smelt literally gas in the hallway, in the kitchen, and I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? What do I do? So I called my letting agency. You've got an emergency number because you have to call them in emergency. And I thought, well, shall I tell them what if I'm wrong? What if I get them woken up late at night and it's nothing wrong? And I thought, well, it's your life. You could die. And what you're going to do, like, worry about that, getting them out. You know, your health is more important. If you're wrong, you're wrong. The worst case scenario is you save your life, which is actually the best case scenario, because, you know, you can smell gas. I'm pretty sure it's gas, you know, you need to get them out. So sometimes our mind plays tricks on us, and we think about other people, and we you know, worry. So I have a lot of situations in my life where I don't care what people think, but then I obviously have this other side to me that you know, someone's saying in chat, I have a question. So if you have any questions, put them in chat, but I can't necessarily answer them straight away. So so my whole point is like, my mind was playing tricks on me, like, should you phone someone or not? So anyway, I phoned them. It was 5 past midnight, and they said to turn the gas off outside on the lever, which I haven't done before. I got a new gas meter recently, and to turn the boiler off, and that's it. It'll be fine. Then they'll call the guy back out to do the boiler, sort the boiler out in the morning. But I could still, like, I did what they said, but I went outside. I didn't even know if I turned it off properly or not, because it's not something I usually do. And it's a new meter, but I went by what I thought the label was saying, but it was showing a diagram. It wasn't actually giving explicit wording. It was just showing these arrows. So anyway, I did that. Then my energy company is Octopus Energy in the UK. So I contacted, I read on the internet, like, what to do in a gas leak scenario, and then I was worried because I could still smell gas, and so it said coming up with National Grid in the UK saying it's an emergency engineer, but I didn't know if it had to charge for that and if the letting agency would pay for it or what. And then I realized it was a free phone number, but I thought, is the actual service to look at the boiler free? Anyway, I phoned my energy company up, and their emergency number diverts through to the National Grid emergency services. And I phoned them up, and they go, yeah, it's good that you phoned us. Can you still smell gas? I said, a bit. They go, we'll get someone out within the hour. And it's free to have the engineer out. It's free for them to make it safe. Then you would get back to your own letting agency, and they would pay someone to actually fix the leak. But we need to come and make it safe. So the guy came out, and it was absolutely spot on. It was leaking. And I've got the paperwork here. I can't show you my address details, but look, they put immediately dangerous. And it was on the scale, it was 10 drop. I don't really exactly totally know what that means, but I looked it online, and it means it's serious enough, you know. And they put like immediately dangerous. So obviously that means my life's in danger, because there's not just that risk, it's immediately dangerous. So you know, it was like really shocking to see that in black and white, you know. So it's a boiler and it's a gas escape, and it was immediately dangerous. So the guy made it completely safe for me. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that because it's quite difficult writing and it's late at night here, so I can't make it any better. But I think you can see the tick the box, immediately dangerous. It might register as backwards on my phone for some reason. Everything keeps coming out backwards on my phone. but obviously I've got the paper right away. But anyway, it's immediately dangerous or at risk is ticked immediately dangerous. So this is really like shocking, right? And he said you did the right thing. He said it's better to be safe than sorry, but you do actually have a gas leak. So I went out with him because I really needed some fresh air, and I don't want to be going around the corner of where I live late at night on my own. So yeah, he made everything safe, and he came in and he put hazard warning labels outside the meter and on the boiler here inside, and then the guy came round to fix it today. But I've still been in fight or flight mode because I'm in shock. I could have died, because obviously if the leak carried on, then I wouldn't possibly be here, and then when I phoned my parents up to tell them what had happened later on when they were awake, because this was going on in the middle of the night, like the guy didn't leave after Make It Safe till 2:20 a.m. and I phoned the letting agency again and gave them the gas engineer who had come from National Grid, to turn it off and make sure it was safe for me. They spoke to him on the phone so they could know for definite I do have a leak, and the guy came out and replaced it and said it was a washer. That's what caused the gas leak. But it doesn't make me have much confidence. So I just find it really hard to relax now in my new home, because the fact is I could have died if it carried on, the leak. And I'm wondering on Sunday night when I was being sick after my last live stream if it was actually already leaking then. Although I couldn't smell anything till the Monday, the guy did come and do work in here on the Saturday, and it was Sunday our last live stream, and I've never thrown up after a live stream before. So it was really, really weird. So, and I got migraine last night, which I think was the gas. So, so it's really horrifying, because when you go through something like that, you go, well, I could have, your mind was like, well, you could have died, Sandra. And, I'm surprised the letting agency isn't. I mean, they took it seriously because they got someone out in the morning, like they said they would. But I've asked for a new boiler because, there's constant problems with it. I've had problems with it ever since before I even moved in here. But when I moved in, it was noticeable, and they keep having to replace parts on it. But I mean, it's like, how much do I have to keep going through? Now it's risking my life until you finally give me a new boiler. But they don't want to do it really, because obviously it costs them loads of money. They did say last time, you've had so many new parts, you've nearly got a new boiler anyway. This was before the gas leak. But you know what I mean? It's just very, very, very difficult. And it does put you in a state of shock. I am still in shock about it. I'm like, how could this happen? Do you know what I mean? And when I phoned my parents up, they're like, oh, there's been a load of boiler leaks on the news recently with people blowing up houses and dying. And so, yeah, it's serious stuff, like if I hadn't have noticed it myself, it would just gone on. And it was clearly getting worse. I know by the time I called someone, it was like, it had been really bad. I turned the gas central heating off, and then I could just smell the gas. And I'm like, oh my God, and I did what they said, the letting agency, but the letting agency should have told me that I'm meant to phone National Grid. But they didn't. I found that out through my octopus energy. And someone in comments wrote a comment like, I'm surprised your letting agency had to tell you that. You shouldn't be phoning your letting agency. You should be phoning National Grid. I have to contact the letting agency and let them know what's happening. It's in my tenancy agreement. Any emergencies, you have to let them know, like lack of water, hot water and water in general, and certify this is an emergency. You have to let them know. But they didn't tell me to phone National Grid. It was me who found it out through doing my research on the internet, and also through my octopus energy. It diverts directly to the emergency services for gas. And this guy happened to be in my city. He was with me within 20 minutes. But I felt so relieved because I couldn't sleep, because I was worried because I still smelt some gas, even though I turned the boiler off, which I thought was the source of the problem, which it was. And I turned the lever off, I thought, downstairs, and the gas meter, I had actually turned it off, but he came and did more stuff. He used like a spanner to turn it off, shut it off completely. The pipes, because the leak was coming down the pipes, but it was going up to the boiler. And so, it's really shocking. It's really shocking, but obviously, like, I did have headaches. So I now, because one of the signs of a gas leak is, you can have nausea, you can have headaches, and things like this. So I don't know how much of what I experienced was exhaustion and what's been actually the gas now. And I'm a little bit suspicious that it might have been, even before I smelt it, there might have been a bit of gas leak, but it just got so bad in the end. Because I noticed yesterday that the radiator in the morning wasn't oh no, actually in the evening, I think, yeah, in the evening when I turned it off. But usually the radiators are quite hot in here, but when I turned it off, the radiator in this lounge was hardly that warm even. So, it's really difficult. But I think when we go through times like this, we have to take different lessons from it. And one is to try and trust yourself more. Because obviously, if I'd have contacted the gas company, like the letting agency, a little bit quicker about the gas, that would have been sorted quicker. But I was questioning myself, and because I've had so many dealings with letting agencies where you have to monitor situations, and even the guy who first came to my home, to do work in the bathroom, he's actually a plumber as well. He said that monitor the situation with the hot water with the boiler. There was no gas leak at that point that I'm aware of. But because he said monitor the situation, it's important to monitor. I never even brought the boiler attention to my letting agency, only to that contractor, before they even started doing work. But they've been doing work on the boiler for like 2.5 weeks, I think it is now. I don't even know if it's a bit more than that. So this has been very, very stressful. And I was making sure I took time out last night to de-stress and watch a movie. It was during that time of de-stressing that I had the worst stress of all, which was the gas leak. And then I spent hours up at night trying to sort it out, so I have had hardly any sleep, and my body was in fight or flight, because obviously it's been on edge, thinking, is it going to go again? Is something else going to go in the boiler? I've actually wrote to my letting agency asking to please have a new boiler, but I don't know if I'll get one, because it's all the money for the landlord. But at the end of the day, it's my life's been at stake now. I'm having to keep having to work my life around a stupid boiler. It's ridiculous. No hot water, so I have to do this, or I have to do that, or I need to boil a kettle, or I need to call the letting agency, email the letting agency again. Then the company has to phone me to see what, fit me in their appointment schedule to come and look at the boiler again. Then they have to come back with a replacement part, but they have to get the replacement part first and update me. And it's just constant stress, do you know what I mean? But one of the things that's very noticeable about me is I didn't trust my own judgment straight away. I was questioning myself, is it really gas leak? Am I sure it's a gas leak? Smells like gas, but could it be anything else? And I want to trust myself more, because I think, some aspects I trust myself loads. I've done loads of work, but I'm clearly got some difficulty still trusting my own judgment sometimes, But in the end, it was my own judgment that saved my life, because I did recognize, I said to myself, well, what are you going to do? Not saying you've got to say something, because you need to save your life. You could be saving your life here. You could die else, if it could kill you if it is a gas leak. So it's better to phone up, even if you get them out of bed, and even if that you're wrong. It's better to do, but I didn't think I was wrong, but it's better to do that than risk your life. But I was risking my life really just by giving it an extra day, like the Tuesday, not saying anything on the Monday when I thought I smelled it. But I just thought I'd get the engineer saying, "Oh, I've already been out," because he keeps coming back, and it's every time he's like, "Oh, I fixed it now. You should be fine." And there's usually something else that keeps going wrong with it. So every time he's saying it's fine, it's not. And I just feel I'm being a nuisance or something by keep phoning up. But it's genuine problems with the boiler. Parts are having to be replaced and stuff. So it's just so stressful all the time. And I'm not really able to relax in my new home. I haven't really been able to relax much since I've even been here. I'm hardly having any time to myself. I've got things I need to do. Presents to wrap, for example. You know what I mean? I would have liked to have decorated my home more with more decorations for Christmas. But it's not going to be having, it's not going to be having much time to do this, or I should say, grammatically correct, I'm not going to have much time to do this. So yeah, it's just I think it's very important to analyze situations of what could have gone better. And I didn't know about National Grid. And why didn't I know? Because I don't watch the news. Because someone said, it's all over the news about what to do in a gas leak. I'm I don't watch the news. I don't even have a TV license. I don't watch TV. So unless I'm specifically going to look at this, and I didn't have a gas boiler in my last place. And the only other place I had before that for years, which did have a gas boiler, that was in someone else's flat downstairs. It wasn't in my flat. And they controlled the whole house because it was a flat in in a converted house. It wasn't purpose built. This is purpose built. So downstairs in their flat, they controlled all the boiler, and the central heating just came up the pipes from the one boiler downstairs in someone else's flat. I had no control over it. It was on a timer. So it came for 2 hours in the morning, I think it was, and 2 hours in the evening in winter, and that was it. I didn't have a choice when to put it on. It was very frustrating. So I have never had to deal with this situation before. So I think there has to be some compassion and understanding that not everyone's situation is the same. Like, I don't usually use gas. I hate gas, to be honest with you. I try not to use it. Here I use mostly electricity, but if I want to put the heating on, I don't just want to have a little tiny heater in one room that's not very cost efficient, then I need to actually, I need to use the gas central heating. But one thing that was nice about National Grid is they did leave me with some gifts, which was really nice to keep warm. So I want to just show you what they gave me. They actually gave me this for free, a free heater. So because when they left, there was no heating on, so they said you have to keep the windows open, so I couldn't put it on straight away, but I've got this. So this wasn't under my Christmas tree, like a new fan heater, brand new, free. And then they gave me a bag full of goodies, right? Full of things to keep me warm. So this keeping you safe and warm, your gas emergency and pipeline service. Look at this. They gave me this to keep myself warm. And in this is like a whole keep warm kit. And I felt so blessed. I'm lucky to be alive, to be perfectly honest with you. Still talking right now. So they gave me a thermometer, which is really handy. So I've not had a thermometer before. Not to measure the temperature in the room. So it got a magnet as well at the back. So I can put it on the fridge. It's quite hot in here, as you can see at the moment. So that's nice, isn't it? And then I wanted to show you the other stuff that came in the bag. So we've got gloves, and then we've got a hat, and then we've got a scarf as well, which I think is really, really oh, not scarf. I thought it was a scarf. It's some big socks. I don't wear big socks. I just put them around my neck as a scarf. I don't wear long socks like this because I have to have short socks because of my fibromyalgia. I thought it was a scarf because I hadn't took them out, so I'm taking them out to show you. So this is what's in the stay warm and safe kit. So isn't this nice of them? And I got a thermos flask for free. Travel mug, actually, it's called, not a thermos flask, a travel mug, which I thought was really nice. Obviously, I get this bag free. Oh, I didn't realise I got this. 7 hours of heat. Hand warmer, just open, heats rapidly, safe, non-toxic and reliable. Wow, I didn't even realise it had that because I haven't dived into it. So this is good. Keeps your hands warm. Wow. And then this was from the thermometer. This is the packaging. And then it's got a brochure saying keeping you safe and warm, which is really nice. And it's got a hot water bottle, free as well. And then, and it's also got this, which looks really nice, which I haven't used yet. This, which is a fleece blanket for free. I hope they gave these things to homeless people as well, because it'd be quite nice for them to have this, wouldn't it? But this is to keep you warm in a gas situation, because I couldn't put the heating on after they went, And then I got this bag to put it all in. So I think that's really nice, but I should really, use this fleece, I think, because it'd be nice, but I need to wash it first, really. But I thought that's really nice. Well, obviously I wouldn't have washed it last night if I'd have needed it. But it's quite warm in here because other people have their heating on. I haven't got my heating on at the moment. So I thought that's really nice to get these free gifts. Not nice circumstances, obviously, because I don't want to have a gas leak and nearly die. Potentially die. But, I didn't have the symptoms of almost death. I had the symptoms of gas leakage where, I did get the headaches and stuff like that. So I think, it was impacting my health. And clearly it was getting worse. So I'm really glad that I saved my own life in the end. Look, hot water. I think this is really nice though. So I will keep this stuff because and especially the gloves I can use and stuff. The fleece I'll be using because it is a really nice fleece. And the heater I've got in case the heating does go off again. Because the other day it went off when the guy was trying to change the circuit in the boiler before the gas leak from the boiler. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's really important. I do have an actual heater now, just in case the central heating goes off. But that's really nice by National Grid giving me that, I think. I didn't even know I was going to do that until I came up the stairs with that at the end. But yeah, this is a nice heater as well. I was thinking about getting one of these because I said the heating was off the other day as well as the hot water. But now I've got one for free. So that was a good thing to call them out. But yes, I'm not used to dealing with gas or gas leaks. So obviously it was really serious. I know like the situation in the end was bad, and they have put, like I said on here, immediately dangerous. So I was an immediately dangerous situation for my life, and I'm really thankful and grateful to still be here in life, you know, because when something like this happens, it is very upsetting, it's very emotional, it's very shocking. And you don't expect something like this to happen to yourself, even if you do read about it or hear about it on the news or know it happens. You know, you think, God, I hope that never happens to me. I hope I never have to deal with a gas leak, because obviously something could have ignited and blown me up or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And it would have been awful. I wouldn't be here anymore. So I think when you have situations like this, you're faced with your own possibility of mortality, you know, death and not being here anymore, and it just gives you a huge shock to the system. And part of you's like a bit angry, like, you know, like why does these things keep happening with the boiler? This, you know, like clearly I need a new boiler, and you feel like shouting it from the rooftops. And then the other part is like, well, I've got to be sensible when I talk to the letting agency and the people, because they've got to try and help me. So I can't express, even if I feel angry, I can't start showing my anger like that, because it wouldn't be productive. But I do feel angry. I feel angry that I feel like I haven't even been taken that seriously as I should have been. You know, it's a major problem. We're talking about a gas leak here. We're talking about something that could have killed me. And, you know, the fact that I keep getting told, oh, I've got to replace these parts of the boiler, and it costs thousands of pounds to like replace this boiler. So like it's the last thing the landlord really wants to be doing. It's just not very good. You know, and they're going to have to replace these boilers at some stage of the situation, because these boilers are 20 years old, and they're going to have to be replaced anyway at some point. And there's going to come a day when it does completely conk out, and mine's nearly been that situation. They said I've had so many new parts in there that I've nearly got a whole new boiler now just by the insides. But it's really not the point, you know. I feel it's unreliable now. I fear for my safety. I worry I can't relax that much in my own home, because I'm like always on edge, like what's going to happen with the boiler next? But nothing's happened as serious as the gas leak, you know. This is life or death situation we're talking about. This is not just some part that needs replacing. That doesn't matter whether it's replaced or not, you'll still be alive. This is like a situation where, yes, it was actually a faulty washer, but like, how did that even happen? Probably because they were actually taking parts in and out of the boiler, which they wouldn't need to do if I had a brand new boiler in the first place, and it didn't have all this faulty stuff inside it. You know what I mean? There's some weird stuff that's been going on, because a guy tried to replace it with another circuit board twice, and both circuit boards completely failed. They shut the whole boiler down. To me, that makes it look like there is an actual problem with it. And I don't know if there was a gas leak beforehand, because apparently one of the symptoms of a gas leak is condensation on the windows, really bad. But I don't know how bad it was here before, but it leaves pools of water from the windows. Usually overnight, there's pools of water on the windowsill. That's never been a normal issue wherever I've lived before, but I haven't had double glazing like it's been here, so I don't know if that's normal or not. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard to tell sometimes when you've lived a different life and had different experiences. But I have had a lot of experiences with letting agencies where they usually like you to monitor the situation. They'll usually only do things that cost a lot of money as a last resort. In the corridor out there near the stairs, right, the stairwell for all the flats on this floor, there's tiles that are broken. And I've reported it a couple of times and saying, what's the landlord doing about this? Because it's a health and safety hazard. I mean, literally someone could trip over and break their neck and die from those tiles, because they're two of them are damaged and chipped away. You know, well, one's not even there anymore. The old one's like completely torn at the edges and just a piece, and there's other pieces broken off. So it needs replacing. But again, like I've mentioned that 2 or 3 times and still nothing happens with it. Oh, I just speak to the landlord about it. Do you know what I mean? Health and safety should be a top priority. And, you know, when it's your own life at risk and you know, you could have died, it just makes you really upset. I am upset about it. I'm still in shock, to be honest. And I feel like I can't even rest or relax in my own home. I'm so stressed out about it because your body gets in fight or flight. It's on edge, waiting to flee all the time. I should say fight, fight or flee. You know what I mean? Fight and flee is quite similar, I think. When you take flight, it means you like fly off. And fleeing is like you run off. But they're both like going away. So I think it's really difficult to deal with this. I think, you know, a lesson for myself is like to try and trust my own judgment even sooner. I think that's really important. You know, like stuff I keep constantly working on. Sometimes I'm really good at doing that, but other times, obviously, I'm a bit slow to do that. And I think that's an important lesson to learn for myself. But in the end, I still did save my own life. I still did and I went to National Grid. The letting agency didn't even say that. So I took more precautions than they told me to, and I made sure that I was safe because I felt so relieved after the guy came out from National Grid because I saw him. I went outside and I saw him. Most people probably don't go with the guy to actually see him do the work, like with his spanners or whatever, turning the stuff off. And I actually saw the test he did. He said, you see this liquid? When it goes down, it means there's a gas leak and it's going down. You know, it's a 10 reading of 10. So you definitely got a gas leak. So, you know, it's really important that you do listen to your own self as much as possible. And you do believe in trusting yourself. You do have to stick up for your own self and your rights in this world. It's very hard sometimes, especially if you have any past history of not being like trusted to make your own decisions or being made to feel that every decision you make is going to be the wrong one. That can be very hard then to make decisions for yourself as an adult. When you've had experiences like I've had of letting agencies that say monitor the situation first because we don't want to get someone out and, you know, call someone out unnecessarily, you know, all these type of things, they build up as experiences throughout your life. And then you like get hesitant to do things because you're worried about, you know, like what people think in the sense of people you have to deal with. Like strangers, it doesn't really matter what they say about me. I couldn't really care less that much. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if they're being insulting, I do say it's not nice. I don't appreciate the insult, right? Some of the time I'll say that, but other times I just like can't be wasting my energy on them. But if it's someone you have to deal with in a capacity of a letting agency, do you know what I mean? And workmen, you have to be able to communicate effectively with these people, even if you're going through emotional turmoil. Like I already have anxiety condition, which they know about. And obviously this just increases my anxiety so much because I'm always on edge thinking what's going to happen with the boiler next. That needs to be the end of it. Like risking my life, potentially I could have died if it had carried on or something else had happened, a flame had ignited or something, you know, potentially I could have died. I mean, where does it end? Just where does the boiler problems end, you know? So I find it very stressful, very upsetting. You know, and it's like I need to be able to relax. So I have had a couple of hours, just under a couple of hours sleep a bit earlier. But it's just like so stressful. It's just constant problem or challenges, I like to call them, one after the other. And it's like I can't even get back to writing my books that I love to write. For Asexuals, I've got loads of books to finish off, but I can't finish it because I can't even have the basics of hot water here and clean, fresh air that doesn't smell of gas. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I've got them now again. Should do, you know what I mean? But it's hard for me to even trust that. I have seen the guy test it and it was green. He's fixed a gas leak now, but I just find it like, is it really fixed? Is it going to go again? Is another part of the boiler that's going to go and cause another gas leak? You know, because this is how it is. It puts you on edge all the time, and all you've got is constant problems with the boiler. And every time you get told it's fixed, there's another problem. Either the same problem's never been fixed in the first place properly, or something else crops up. And it's just like I just want to relax in my own home, you know. And therefore, like your home, instead of being a sanctuary for relaxation, ends up being a place where you feel a bit trapped and you feel like it's a nightmare, an ongoing nightmare, and you feel so stressed. There are moments, obviously, that I feel some relaxation, little moments, but a lot of the time it's like constantly like I feel like I'm a bit like trapped in a whirlwind of constant like issues going on and on and on, and it's just stress building like a pyramid. It's one stressor after another. And I did a live stream on this channel a while ago that says when you've got multiple stresses building up, that's when your health does suffer. So I just wanted to give you all these insights on how I survived the gas leak, and I'm really pleased to still be here in life. I'm very thankful and grateful for that. So although obviously I'm very kind of angry and upset and in shock still and stressed and worn out with it all and exhausted, I am still so grateful and thankful for my life still being here. It could have been a lot worse. I might not be here speaking to you right now, which is just such an eerie feeling. It's just such a weird thought to think that I could have been dead, to be frank with you. And I'm glad I'm not. I'm glad I'm still alive, but we never know when our last breath is going to be taken. And that's why I do in my life like to have experiences as well. I like to save some money, but I also like to go and spend some money on experiences and do things in life that I wouldn't usually do, because we only live one life and we never know what's going to happen. We never know if we're going to be here or gone in the next second. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I do encourage people to not just live in the future and project into the future, like, oh, I must save for the future. I think it's essential to save money for the future, but I think it's also good to put some money aside to actually spend in the here and now. It's important to see friends. It's important to see family. It's important to have experiences of a lifetime, because once your life's gone, or it deteriorates or whatever, you can't ever get that back. I broke my back in 2 places this year. It's taken me 8 months to get fit enough, strong, really strong, to be able to do like bending and going on the floor now and twisting my body around and all sorts of stuff. I used to be able to do the twisting before, but I got told it will take up to 2 years to get full range of movement back in my spine. But I think I'm a lot better now. I can squat, bend, twist a lot of the time. I still have some pain though. I still do. But what I'm telling you is, you can, with pain and determination to succeed, you can actually gain your more freedom in the end, because I'm stronger now in physicality. But obviously I'm exhausted. So I think mental health, physical health, and your emotional health is really important to sort out. With that in mind, I will be taking some more time out for myself. I'm going to try and have some rest, probably tomorrow. I may not be able to live stream tomorrow or next day, I don't know, because I've got quite a lot to do. And I think I need some rest and relaxation for good this time, hopefully, you know what I mean? But I'll probably fall asleep soon. So thank you for being here. I'm pleased that I survived the gas leak. I'm pleased that I'm still here with you now. And don't forget to grab my fibromyalgia superhero style book, autobiographical, on Amazon. Fibromyalgia self-help handbook, that is. Diary Confessions of a Hyperromantic Asexual best-selling book on Amazon. So that's Diary Confessions of a Hyperromantic Asexual, and Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories. These are all Amazon bestsellers. So if you're looking for Christmas presents, go and grab some of these. They're good. And so, yeah, thank you for being here. I'm glad I'm still alive. Glad I'm still here, able to see my twinkling tree. And even though I'm exhausted and it's been a really stressful time, I'm so glad that I'm grateful that I still have my life. And I'm strong in my physicality again. And yeah, I always have this philosophy that if you are going through hell, really tough times, month after month, and it's so difficult, I always have this philosophy, this theory, this logical reasoning, that when you have really, really bad shit times, excuse my language, you're gonna have some amazing times coming up. And the shitter your life right now, the more amazing your life is going to be in the future. The more amazing your life is going to be in the future. So that's what I hold on to. In my mind, I think you've got through difficult times before you can get through these again. It's really important to think that in your life. You've got through difficult times, you can get through them again. Right? These are different difficult times, but with the more difficult times you have, the more experience and knowledge you gain, the more lessons you learn, the more you can change your own behavior and what you might do in the future, so that you can have challenges to overcome more quickly, more efficiently, more effectively, and you can know what to do for next time, And it is the challenges and difficulties in life that does make us more resilient, more stronger, and it does build our inner strength. But it does also cause us some traumatic damage. It does also make us feel upset and in pain, and it's important to acknowledge that. My life was in jeopardy. I could have died. That's the reality of the situation. when I look at this piece of paper that says immediately dangerous on there in black and white, you know what I mean? It highlights this. It highlights the shocking situation I was in, you know. And when you actually talk about it, I had a gas leak. It was immediately dangerous. I could have died. It's true, isn't it? It's possible, you know. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I'm still here and I'm still alive. But you never know, do you? You don't know when your last breath is going to be. And, you know, the letting agency should have also told me to phone National Grid when they didn't. So, luckily, I've got a really good energy company, Octopus Energy. They're really good with customer service as well. They're amazing. They're very good with hidden disabilities as well. You know, any mental health difficulties, any physical disabilities. They're very good, very caring company in my personal experience. So yeah, I just am so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful that I'm still alive. I'm so grateful that I'm going to be still doing this channel going into 2025, and I'm hoping next year is going to be a much better year for me, because with my health this year, it's just been so I was going to say so bad, but I mean, it's been a very diabolical at certain times. I had skin conditions at one point that was so taking over my body, it was unreal. You know, and the broken spine. But just think, someone put on my Facebook, "You're a true warrior, Sandra," to be able to do all that physio and get your spine better, enough to be released from physio in 8 months for 2 broken spines, T8 and T9. It's pretty good going. You know, I'm very proud of myself for that achievement. And also on this channel, oh, my printer's woken up by itself. You can hear it going off. And also, it's trying to scan something that's no longer on there. That's funny. So what was I going to say? You know, I was going to say that I just thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And I am proud of my achievements. And also what I was going to say, on this channel, I've nearly had 1 million views now. So I'm coming up. I think I've got a couple more thousand. I don't know. It depends on the stats of YouTube. Like in this YouTube studio, it's like 2,000 views ahead of the actual views that it comes up on my channel about section. So it's very bizarre. But anyway, I think with like 4,000 or something more views, I should be getting there. But I really appreciate every one of your views, every one of your likes, every one of your comments, every one of your, you know, chat comments. So I want to say thank you to the people being on chat. Thank you so much to be here. So great to be here and listen. So someone, so yeah. So yeah, it's really, really brilliant. So yeah, someone in chat was being really rude. So yeah. Right. So yeah, I really appreciate everyone in chat. You know, I really appreciate you being here. Like I said, everyone, thanks for being here. And you've all been great. So yes, I really am so happy for all the people. And Crystal says, "I know exactly how you feel. I've had a bone disease in my hip lifetime." Wow, that's really difficult. So yeah, they said, "Wow, cool, you wrote that to help people." They're talking about my fibromyalgia self-help handbook in chat. So they're talking about this one. So definitely helps when you strengthen your muscles. Yep, you sound like my English teacher. That's funny. Yeah, so brilliant. So someone says get some good rest to me. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all your kind comments. I appreciate you being here. Even if people are writing some comments that are not so favourable, you're actually helping the channel grow still. So thank you to those as well. And yeah, appreciate every day you're alive, people, because you never know when it's going to be your last day. And sometimes we have these wake-up calls to remind us, my God, it's good you're still alive, you know. It's good that you're still fighting for your life. It's good that you're still alive. And it reminds you to make sure you do have some experiences in the here and now, not just live all for the future. Make sure you are present. It's very important. Anyway, lots of love to you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you haven't already. And that will enable you to see any videos, any lifestyle vlogs, any entertainment vlogs, any educational videos I post, because I do a mixture of entertainment, information, education and lifestyle vlogs as well on this channel. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your support as always. I could not build this channel community without you. I love you lots. I'll see you soon in the next video or live stream. Subscribe, like I said, and hit that bell icon right now. Lots of love to you. I'll see you soon. Take care and have a great day. Bye.